The water cycle, a story in photos. When we think of large bodies of water, the first thing that comes to mind may be the ocean, as shown in this picture. We might also think of a beautiful beach scene, as in this picture. And we can't forget having snowball fights in the snow, which of course is also water. Now, how about snowboarding? That looks like a lot of water there. And a water slide? Huh, there's no more fun than that. Water is very important to us. It's all around us. We use it in all parts of our lives. We drink it, we wash with it, we clean with it. It's used in industry, it's used in agriculture, it's needed to grow our food. 71% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. 60% of the human body is water. Yet, only 3% of the water on the surface of the planet is fresh water and available to us for us to use. So if we use so much water, why is it that we never run out? Well, the answer is the water cycle. The water cycle, also known as the hydrologic cycle, describes the continuous movement of water on, above, and below the surface of the Earth. Since the water cycle is truly a cycle, there is no beginning or end. Water can change states among liquid, vapor, and ice at various places in the water cycle, with these processes happening in the blink of an eye and over millions and millions of years. Since there's no real beginning or end to the water cycle, we will arbitrarily choose to begin with evaporation. Evaporation is a process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or vapor. Evaporation is the primary pathway that water moves from the liquid state back into the water cycle as atmospheric water vapor. The source of most of the evaporation comes from lakes, streams, ponds, rivers, and the oceans. The next step in the water cycle is transpiration. Transpiration is essentially evaporation of water from plant leaves. Studies have shown that about 10% of the water that evaporates into the atmosphere is contributed by plant transpiration. Condensation is a process by which water vapor in the air is changed into liquid water. Condensation is crucial to the water cycle because it is responsible for the formation of clouds. These clouds may produce precipitation, which is a primary route for water to return to the Earth's surface within the water cycle. Condensation is the opposite of evaporation. Condensation can occur in the upper atmosphere to form clouds, and it can also occur on the surface of different things. Precipitation is water released from clouds in the forms of rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, or hail. It is a primary connection in the water cycle that provides for the delivery of atmospheric water to the Earth. Most precipitation falls as rain. Precipitation is very important to us here on the planet because this is what recharges our stores of fresh water. Not to mention it's fun to play in. Anywhere in the world, a portion of the water that falls as rain and snow infiltrates the subsurface soil and rock. Some water that infiltrates will remain in the shallow soil layer, where it will gradually move vertically and horizontally through the soil and subsurface material. Eventually, it might enter a stream by seepage into the stream bank. Some of the water may infiltrate deeper, recharging the ground aquifers. This is a very important step because most cities in our country obtain their water through wells drilled into aquifers. Runoff is surface runoff of precipitation over the landscape into streams, rivers, lakes, and eventually into the ocean. At any one time, there is lots of water on this planet that is locked up in the form of ice, mainly in the polar ice caps. This water really does not enter or leave the water cycle for long, long periods of time. The water cycle is a natural cycle. It occurs on this planet without regard to humans, their safety, their well-being, their property, their happiness. It doesn't matter. The water cycle will just continue to occur whether we're here or not. As seen in this picture, at this point, snow piled up several feet, and I'm sure people didn't really want this to occur, but that's just a part of nature. Flooding is also a natural occurrence that happens at times when we get a lot of precipitation that saturates the ground and no longer allows the water to infiltrate into the lower parts of the soil and the bedrock. But again, this is nature and this will sometimes happen. Use of water in agriculture is very important. This is how we get our food. And as we all know, we need water for drinking. As mentioned before, water is also used in industry. It's used in the manufacture of many different products and also in the production of energy. Pictured here is Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is a hydroelectric power plant. Hydroelectric power plants use huge turbines and they harness the power of water to produce electricity. Electricity that is transferred along long power lines to our homes and businesses. And whenever we turn a light on in our house, we can thank water sometimes for the light. Now, to review. The water cycle, also known as a hydrologic cycle, has several steps. Again, these steps are in no particular order. They are evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, and runoff. Water is also used in industries. It's used for us in agriculture, for drinking, of course, and for recreation. But whether we use it intentionally or unintentionally, it's always there. But you know something? We can't take that for granted. Because just because we have fresh water and water that we can use today doesn't mean it's always going to be there. So we need to make sure that we keep in mind the conservation of water and smart uses. And even though water has many, many uses, one thing we should always do is make sure that we recognize and appreciate its beauty just for the sake